This is the A to Z podcast. Expert insights on leadership, business, real estate, investing, and growth.
Welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about transforming healthcare in Ethiopia. I have the right person to talk about this, someone who is making transformation at industry level. His name is Dr. Girma Ababi. He is the founder and president of Liyana Healthcare and its sister company. He is also an innovator, educator, and investor in the healthcare industry. Dr. Girma, thank you very much for coming. I know how much busy you are, but you accommodated my time zone, and I want to say thank you on behalf of our audience.
Thank you, Dr. Asagid. Thank you so much. So grateful for the kind introduction.
All right, let's start our conversation by taking you back to what drives you to do all of these things. Think about this. For example, to be successful in one's profession by itself is very challenging. To also succeed in business, just one business by itself is a daunting task. But you're successful professionally, academically, and in your business, but you are also helping the industry to experience transformation. And I want to know the drive behind why you do all of these things at once. I want to give you an example. I was listening to an interview by a lawyer, and this lawyer, he was asked, what drives you to become a lawyer? And he said that when they were teenagers, his brother, he had accident, but his insurance company couldn't be able to pay him, and therefore he decided, you know what, I want to make sure that going forward I become a lawyer to help other people who may have the same experience. So, Dr. Girma, tell me the drive behind why you do all of these things.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Asagid. Yeah, there is a story behind this. You know, the moment I did my postgraduate study in pathology, my passion was to be, a very the best possible professor and doing my pathology practice. So with that intention, I went to Dila University and I served at Awasa University. So being a pathologist and making a diagnosis of cancer, and then once you make a diagnosis and declare the bad news that the patient is having cancer, and yet you tell them there is no treatment option. Okay, there's no chemotherapy, there is no radiation therapy, there's no that sound surgical intervention. You know, the patients will lose hope and start to die from the date they heard about the bad news. So someone who was well built and has got the diagnosis of cancer, and in a week or two comes back very emaciated, depressed, lost hope. And so through time, I lost the passion of being a pathologist because, of course, my profession was adding a value to the scientific community, but at individual patient level, it was actually the opposite. Okay, I felt like I'm not adding value to the patient's life. So I had two options. Either I have to stop the job of making the diagnosis of cancer, or I have to come up with those solutions. Okay, so that was actually the driving force, because that moment, this is actually a decade and a half ago, we had only one cobalt machine at Blacklight.
All right, looks like Dr. Girma froze. It could be internet connection. Let's give him a couple of seconds. He may come back. All right, he's connecting again. Just be patient. All right, be patient. Dr. Girma looks like out. I'm waiting for him. It looks like he is disconnected. In the meantime, I want to use this opportunity to give you a little bit background about the topic we're covering. Right now, I'm asking Dr. Girma to explain what drives him to do all of these things at once. And I can share with you my own drive. Personally, my drive or the reason why I do what I do, whether I try something challenging and fail, whether I step into a new industry, or whether I try something and stumble, or whether I try something and I may not be able to take it to the next level. Whatsoever challenges that I may have, one thing that keeps me going is that there is a purpose behind what I do, which is helping people to identify their purpose, pursue their passion, and get fulfilled in life. Because whatsoever challenge that I'm facing, I stay focused because that's my passion, because that's the drive behind what I do. And Dr. Girma shared, Dr. Girma is now back. He shared his passion. His passion, it was because he saw that his patients, he tell them what's wrong, but he couldn't be able to help them how to fix it. I can imagine how frustrating it is for him and for his patients. Dr. Girma, I'm glad you're back. Would you like
Yeah.
to finish your story? It's a very passionate story. I mean, I wish everybody has this passion, like, okay, there is a problem. I can shy away, I can walk away, I can act like I didn't see that problem. But in your case, you decided, you know what, I will do something about it, and you did. That's for the benefit of so many people who are working with you, who got jobs because you took that challenge. There are patients who are benefiting from your companies, your innovations. And also, there are professionals and practitioners within your industry who got platforms, who got opportunities. And I'm glad that you took that challenge. Do you want to finish this story before we move on?
Yeah, I'm very much sorry for the interruption.
No problem.
This is part of everyday life. Yeah. So at the end of the day, so I started very small. With providing chemotherapy service at Hawassa. Our establishment was at Hawassa initially, 13 years back. So there were very few oncologists, so I had to call residents down to Hawassa to provide chemotherapy service down at Hawassa. So that was one step. At least patients have got a hope beyond the fact that the chemo is helping. At least they have something, so that they feel like they are getting the treatment. And then followed the surgical intervention. We came up with one of the best surgical in the trauma center in Awasa. And then we started to work on cancer surgeries. So, step by step, we start to build a system where patients can get those treatments for cancer. And once we have achieved that, then we have to go beyond that and look for more access to more patients. Okay. We have started in Awasa, then we started to expand to the other part of the country. Then the establishment in different parts of Ethiopia continued. So generally, every time we invest, I always bear in mind that patients who could not access those services where they are living will get those access to care in their nearest possible facility. Yeah, that's how it progressed, Dr. Asakit.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you took that step, which going to transform the Ethiopian healthcare system, which is very, very important. I want to take you also to the very reason why you're succeeding, which is your mindset. I want you to share about your mindset. What is the psychology, the mentality behind that you have? You were very successful professional, but you scaled your businesses, and you are right now helping the healthcare industry in Ethiopia and beyond. If somebody asks me, for example, what's the mentality of Dr. Girma that makes him to succeed in scaling his business and making transformation at national level and beyond? What's your psychology? I can give you an example. In my case, for example, one of my mentality is I have to enjoy the process. I may not be able to achieve my vision in 1 year, 2 year, maybe in 10 years, but I have to enjoy the process. In that case, my mentality is even if I fail, even if I couldn't be able to achieve what I want to, I keep on going. That mentality helped me to where I am and where I'm going. So for you, what's your mentality? What's your psychology?
Yeah, thank you, Doc. That's a very critical question, honestly speaking. So initially, the drive behind the investments was, as I've told you, the passion to avail care for patients diagnosed with cancer and others as well, of course. So that was intuitive initially. As time goes on, when you think of something which you feel will be impossible in the near future, but it happens to be, it's just unfolding, okay, in the timeline where you have never thought about it. So with this, then there is this mindset of it's possible, okay? It can happen earlier than we can conceive in our mind. So that was the starting point. And lately, of course, being a physician, a pathologist who enjoys sitting behind a microscope and make a diagnosis of cancer cells, I never had a real business training. And lately, I joined the Stanford Seed intensive training on innovation in developing economies. That was actually a 1 year intensive training where I have got the best business acumen. Okay, and so those things which were driven by intuition has now got the leverage of, okay, compounding it with the knowledge of business models, marketing, value chain innovation, and so forth. So that was actually one of the important training I got. And following that, now, okay, vertically, okay, we are coming up with chain of hospitals which focus on tertiary care, primarily unaddressed care in different parts of the nation. But the horizontal integration is also important. So we came up with a business model innovation where service will be, more enhanced by product line. And then we went into manufacturing, then import of those medical supplies and the pharmaceuticals, distribution and the retail, the whole value chain integration. Then we came up with the value chain innovation. And then, okay, that's not adequate. We have to train the best possible workforce for our expanding facilities. Then we came up with Liana College of Health Sciences, where we train professionals, okay, with the best possible knowledge, skill, and attitude, and training research as well. And then again, that was not, again, there are missing areas. Then we went into digital health. Okay, actually, we are the first to start digital virtual care in Ethiopia before COVID. We are the first company to be licensed, Liana Digital Healthcare Solutions. And then our facility-based care was, we started to compound that facility-based care with virtual care where patients can get access from where they are. And then again, that has been addressed. So now, service, product, the digital aspect, as well as the training, research, and consulting have now got integrated. So now healthcare can be accessed with all this integration. Why does this help? Number one, when you are integrating horizontally, number one, you can enhance quality. You can import, manufacture quality products. So patients get quality products. When you train the workforce on your own, then you invest a lot on their skill, attitude, and knowledge. That will improve the quality of care. So number one, you enhance the quality of care. Number two, you bring costs down. Why? Because in the value chain innovation, even if you have a very less margin at each point, then you can provide the care at the lowest possible costing, okay, or fee for service. So at the end of the day, if you have to transform healthcare, you have to do two things. Number one, you have to enhance the quality and the safety of your care. Number two, you have to provide that care at the lowest possible fee. And we achieved that. And now, then we came to see that though we are expanding, though the private health sector is expanding nationally, and though government is expanding care, still there is huge segment of the society who cannot afford to pay for the care. And then we came up with the where we have set up family health and life insurance, and in so doing, we are not bringing care nearer to the citizens, not only in terms of geography, in terms of financial access as well. So currently we have addressed all the 5 pillars in the healthcare ecosystem, and we are really, enjoying the benefit of integrating vertically as well as horizontally. So that's how things really develop. So the mindset is, of course, all this came at a cost. Emotionally consumed, frustrated, challenged a lot. But when you see the fruit after passing through all those hassles, then you will be encouraged to stretch for more challenge. And then it becomes a game, You get challenged, you win the game, you look for another challenge, the cycle goes on at scale. That is a growth mindset, the way I see it.
An amazing story. You mentioned a lot of key mindset that you have. I'm going to share some of them, which I captured, so that our audience also could be able to capture some of them if in case they didn't. The first thing I learned from you is you have this growth mindset. By profession, you are a physician, but you want to learn about softer skills. You want to learn about business acumen. That requires growth mindset. The second mindset that I have seen from you is you are very resourceful, which means challenge doesn't stop you. You find out solutions. This requires a mentality of resourcefulness. The other thing I have seen is, because I'm from Ethiopia, I know the challenge, I know where the healthcare industry is, and to see you where you are today, I can imagine how resilient you are. One of your mentality, which I learned from you, is resilience. Regardless of challenges, obstacles, you stayed on course. That requires to have this mentality of resilience. And of course, everybody could see that you have a mentality of innovation, somebody who comes up with something new, an amazing personality, amazing mentality that you have. I want to also talk about the system that you created, especially the healthcare. You're not just a professional entrepreneur, you are also an innovator and pioneer. Why I call you pioneer? Because we didn't have, for example, insurance in Ethiopia, and you pioneered that. Can you tell us how did you come up with the idea and where you are in terms of providing insurance in Ethiopia?
Yeah, thank you, Doc. So, as I said, that part was actually the missing link, okay, to make a remarkable impact. So, that thought came to me 7 years back. But the policy framework was not inviting for the establishment of specialized health and life insurance. There is this general insurance or composite insurance, including everything, property, all that. But, as a healthcare professional who want to make an impact in the healthcare ecosystem, it was not my passion to insure vehicles or properties and so forth. So there was this uh, uh, conception or thought at the national level that a specialized health and life insurance won't be successful. So there is no need to establish a specialized health and life insurance. So the policy environment was not conducive for more than 5 years. And lately we advocated a lot. And then with all the advocacy lately, we came to convince the leadership at National Bank that it is possible, because if it is possible in Kenya, in South Africa, in other parts of Africa, in the West and in the East, why not in Ethiopia? No, nobody will tell you the reason why this thought has come into picture. Yes. So we try to come up with a convincing scenario where in Ethiopia the insurance system was there, but in a more traditional way. There is no automation. Everything is manual. As you know, the insurance sector is vulnerable for fraud and moral hazard. Therefore, it cannot be profitable business as a business. And if you see from business perspective, and people really look at the business side of it, despite the impact that the huge impact that it comes up with. So the traditional practice has resulted in the conviction at leadership level that it cannot work. So we came up with the fact that we will make it digital. We leverage technology so that we can maximize efficiency, decrease fraud, and reach much more people. Then the scale will come up with impactful yet profitable insurance business, specialized health and life insurance. Then finally, a group of because you cannot establish an insurance alone. We came up with like-minded people and institutions. So from across the nation, different hospitals have invested, okay, in the main cities, in the insurance sector. So finally, we really made it happen. We finally mobilized the required resource. You have to mobilize 400 million subscribed share to come up with the licensing, and we did that. We worked on the technology where we can start just quite purely digital, and we worked on product diversification before, because earlier on, every insurance, private insurance, be it government, CBHI, you have only one product. Product diversification or product innovation is where we are coming up with. So through digital innovation and through product innovation in the insurance space, we felt we can make a reasonable impact on the society and a reasonable return on investment for the investors. So we have now mobilized the required resource, and we are heading to the National Bank for licensing very soon, and we are hoping that it will be operational by January, by the new year. And this is beyond establishing a hospital or anything. It has a system level impact, and it can transform the healthcare. We are very much sure that we can work on it at scale. And honestly speaking, so the private sector, can thrive because at this moment, healthcare costs is increasing globally at an average of 10%. If you come to Ethiopia, it could be probably 30, 40%, but not studied yet. And unless citizens are able to increase their income by the same level, then it's difficult to cope with this and get access to the healthcare. And therefore, through risk pooling, we can really promote the life of our citizens. And we are actually thinking beyond Ethiopia. Once we test it here and make it successful, and then there are areas across the Horn and in the Eastern Africa region where we can really collaborate with other companies. The conversation is already there with other neighboring countries as well. Yeah, so it's to be operational by the European New Year, and get ready. That's what I would like to say to probably citizens who have been waiting for a robust insurance system, and providers struggling to provide care because people cannot afford to pay for the service fees.
Yeah, this is very amazing because if a society want to scale and provide services to the larger population, one of the things that should be done is to create a system. And we didn't have insurance system for life and also for health. And this is really transformational. It's going to impact the lives of so many people. What I like about what you shared is that you created a coalition that helps you to advocate, because sometimes professionals, they may think that, oh, I am just a doctor, or I'm just a lawyer, or I'm just an engineer. There's nothing I can do about this systemic issue. But in your case, you decided, you know what, without insurance, we cannot have access, universal access, healthcare access to the population, and you made that decision. And I'm hoping that's going to be launched soon. And I like also the fact that you're trying to diversify the products. What kind of products are you talking about so far? Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the products?
Yeah. Just to make things clear, Dr. Assagat, of course, there was a traditional life insurance, but on the health aspect, it was actually quite minimal. If you look at the West and even the other part of Africa, actually the dominant insurance, the premium is actually life and health. But in case of Ethiopia, it has never accounted for more than 5% of the insurance service. So this is actually, the penetration is less than 1%, and you can imagine what it means. So as I said, one of the main challenge was there was no product diversification. It was just one fit for all. Now we are coming up with corporate, family, individual products, And then within this category again, at times you may be interested to have insurance for inpatients, but outpatient you can take care of yourself. Then you have to have that freedom. Okay, you may need to have an insurance for an expense of more than a certain level, and then you can pay on your own for up to a certain limit. Or you may want to have insurance for a specific disease, but the rest you can cover. You may need to have insurance for those terminal diseases or diseases that require referral, abroad. So, and you may need insurance coverage for dental, for eye, or you can drop it. So there was no such flexible product diversification so far, and this is going to be one of the new areas where we are working. So that you can have a custom made, whatever is fits you. So we'll try to make it more to at personal level. So that is how we are working on the process, and people will have access to whatever terms. For example, if you want to have a co-payment system, it's non-existing now, then you can co-pay and so forth. So there are innovations in the insurance product. Not all products are very good, to be honest. There are products which can attract a reasonable number of clients. There are other insurance products which may not really be attractive to clients. So we innovate the product, whichever is attracting more clients, we scale, and that's how we are planning to move forward.
Yeah, this is a major transformation, if you ask me, because I live in the United States, and health and life, they are de-risked. It's very, very hard for someone, if somebody gets, for example, a terminal disease, to handle that. It may take tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that person could bankrupt. But there is affordability of insurance. Somebody may pay $50 per month, or $100, or maximum 200, or maybe a little bit more. But this is affordable. Somebody could pay this little amount of money, and in case of risk, in case of something happening to the person or to the family, they could be able to survive. They don't need to bankrupt themselves. And in Ethiopia, this is really a great transformation for people to have this opportunity to de-risk life. Think about someone who just got married, and they have a couple of kids, and now the breadwinner just got a disability disease and unable to work. There should be insurance out there, for example, for the next 6 months or a year, or even for lifetime, because when you have insurance, you could be able to de-risk and protect your family. And I'm glad that we have this insurance, and I wish good luck to you and to the country to diversify the products, and also to come up with some regulations to fight fraud, and to make sure that these products are up to the standard. Can you tell me a little bit more about the regulations, or some of the standards that you are putting in place, so that these products are quality enough and they don't harm the public?
Yeah. Before that, let me tell you one thing. The moment we announced that we started to mobilize resources, we have got a reasonable number of diaspora community who has invested in the insurance, and we came to see that because everybody knows this is a place where it's worth investing. Yeah, that's one thing. And second, especially with the diaspora community, sometimes one of your relative will get sick, and then you want to help in a certain way, and at times you may go through challenge, transfer and everything. So one of the products that we are considering is especially for the diaspora community. If you want to really take care of the health of your loved ones or anyone you care about, then one of the best offer is to purchase insurance scheme for those people, so that you don't have headache, okay, in taking care of their condition when they are in need. So we are actually considering that very seriously and working on that. So when it comes to the product diversification and the safety, yeah, as you said, there are we are considering different possibilities. Number one, products that are tested elsewhere. Okay, so beyond proof of concept, and then it will be beneficiary both for the client as well as for the insurer. So this is actually contextualizing the product innovated elsewhere, and then we can adapt it to the Ethiopian context. The other would be, there are, by the way, we are being supported by, I'm not an insurance person. We are healthcare professionals, majority of the investors, but we have brought on board a well-seasoned insurance professionals, okay, from domestic markets, and we have the best experts in the insurance industry. We are being supported by experts from Kenya, from Mauritius, and from other part of the world as well. And the strategy is being designed with the support of those professionals who really understand the insurance business. And then from our side, we have the in-depth understanding of the healthcare ecosystem. And then so every intervention is based on the fact that it's ethical and it benefits primarily the client, and then the insurance will benefit and sustain. So it will be in a very regulated, in the first place, the regulatory system in the insurance landscape is extremely stringent. You have to comply with that, and there is no compromise on that. And we have zero tolerance for any of with the compliance. There is no compromise. And so given that, and given the fact that we are being supported by well-informed professionals, then we will make it the best possible solution, which is quite safe and with no harm to the client at the end of the day. Yeah.
A quick question about the insurance. Do you already have a system in place in terms of training, qualifying, and certifying agents and brokers?
Yeah, yes. This is the area where we are working. Basically, the insurance industry, the talent pool in the insurance industry is almost non-existent, to be honest with you. You cannot find the right fit because the industry is very at its infancy, and we don't have the people who can do the actuarial analysis. We don't have too many of those professionals who can work out the entire process in a robust manner. So we are trying to leverage talent from especially from Kenya and from other part of Africa, and in so doing, now we are in discussion with the training institutions which are recently established, okay? Because the Insurance Association in Ethiopia has come up with the conclusion that we need to have the talent development platform, and then there is an institution which is actually dedicated to training individuals who are interested. So we are already in contact with these training institutions, and so capacity building is very important, especially in terms of developing talent in the landscape. So we are aggressively working on that line.
Yeah, I see a lot of things that are you working at the same time. while you are waiting for the launch of the insurance system. And I see a lot of things, a lot of moving targets going on, very encouraging in terms of, for example, the diaspora. This is a huge relief for a lot of diaspora because you could be able to insure your family members at home so that if something happens, you don't need to break your bank here in the United States. And also, I see that a lot of jobs, a lot of business is going to open up. Think about, for example, insurance brokers, insurance agents, and also training companies that offer the pre-licensing courses, and those businesses that also do the qualification and the background check and so on. I can see that this is going to expand the GDP of the country. It opens up a lot of businesses and also job opportunities. And this all happened because you and your team and the people who are collaborating with you believed in something and you have done something about it. It's very easy to say, you know what, we don't have insurance industry here. I don't want to deal with that. And you could walk away. But what you've done is you unleashed the potential of the country. Yeah, you brought a lot of people into this, and you're going to open up a lot of opportunities for many people. It could be generational. And looking back, people, one generation down, 2 generations, they look back and wonder why we didn't have insurance. And they would be thankful that you took this step very hard. I'm sure it doesn't pay you that much or any advantage for you personally. You could have survived, you could have succeeded with your practice without that, but you don't want people to experience risk and unable to insure themselves. Let's talk about digitalization. One of the things that interests me is to see leaders to think system-wise, to become strategic. And one of the ways to scale is to systematize. And what I see in Ethiopia right now, for example, telehealth and the different health platforms that are emerging, it encourages me because there is hope that you could be able to scale the healthcare system. Can you tell us more about the telehealth and the different platforms that are emerging and how they could be able to improve the healthcare industry?
Thank you, Doc. That's really very critical point, honestly speaking. As you said, you know, system wins always. And unfortunately, you know, we don't have too many of those companies which has actually has been transgenerational, built a robust culture and a system so that innovators, entrepreneurs could learn from those companies. So the private sector in Ethiopia is, you know, almost 30 years, as you know. So we are just in the learning process. And yet, unless we build a system, then sustainability will be in question. So in order to build system, I think bringing the building of system to the center of every engagement is what is important, and Liyana is doing much on that. From the day one we started 13 years back, in every engagement, quality was at the center. And then, but you know, you may talk about quality, but you have to live it. And third-party validation is always quite important. And we have gone through a rigorous engagement with Ethiopian Quality Award, and we have been awarded trophy for the our performance in the healthcare industry, an excellence model of international standards for 3 consecutive years. And our hospitals are the first chain of hospitals, okay, to be certified as ISO 9001 2015. And of course, in the healthcare landscape, this has never been there in Ethiopia. So, and now we are going for international accreditations and certifications. How does this help? Number one, you ensure quality. You ensure safety. Actually, our hospitals are one of the top hospitals at national level, which are engaged in the WHO Patient Safety Initiative, implementing that initiative. So in all aspects, we always work toward quality and safety. Yet, equity, okay, is also equally important. Not only quality, but equity. And the financing is actually the way we ensure equal access, okay, by pooling risk. And so affordability is another dimension. As in the healthcare, you have those important parameters: quality, safety, access, equity, affordability. If you address this, then that everything is done. So to affordable, you have to leverage technology, and technology increases efficiency, and in doing so, it makes healthcare accessible to the larger population. So that's why we came up with telehealth, digital care, where patients, because if you analyze the cost of healthcare, there is direct cost and indirect cost. The direct cost is what you pay at the hospital for the service. The indirect cost is what you spend for the travels, for the staying at near the facility, and all those. If you compare these two, the indirect cost is much higher compared to the direct cost. How can you bring down the indirect cost is a question. So if you avail care digitally, then the patient can get the care from his home. He should not spend a lot traveling, okay? Travel cost will be less. He should not stay in the hotel near your hospital from remote areas, and so forth. And by the way, this translates again to climate change in such a way that the more the mobility is there, the more fuel, the more carbon emission, and the more danger you are adding to the planet. So the significance of digitalization is actually beyond we can imagine. So in our engagements for the last 10 plus years, we have been totally digital, paperless. We have been using EMR in all our engagements. We came to see the benefit of digitalizing or using electronic health record. So our hospitals are interconnected. Data can be, sent from one to the other. And we have, lately we calculated that we have really saved probably 15% of our expenses by digitalizing our system. So this tells you a lot. Second, with the digital health, now we are serving more companies, multinational companies, in the employee assistance programs, in remote care, especially for follow-up patients, for psychotherapy, and so forth. So going forward, this is the AI era. And now you can leverage the efficiency of AI in transforming healthcare. And, when you use it responsibly, AI will transform everything. This is a time where robotic surgery is in place, okay, with much more precision. And the importance of big data is actually one of the important things that you can leverage. We can generate huge data in a short period of time so that you can make an informed decision. And therefore, this is the moment, the globe is actually in an amazing transition. And as a healthcare, in the healthcare industry or a healthcare provider, unless you leverage digital technology, you will be very obsolete, and the sustainability is at question in a short while. So for us, leveraging technology, telehealth, uh, and AI in the future in a responsible way is actually the way forward. So it's one of our strategic pillar. Okay, technology innovation is one of our strategic pillar, and we work on it very strongly. So that is the way forward, and we came to see how you can reach more at scale with less. Yeah.
This is powerful for the country, and I think it should be translated to other industries too. You said it very well. You cannot achieve affordability, accessibility, convenience, and also regulation, scalability, all of that without digitalizing. And two things I want to emphasize from what you said is I know you've got a lot of awards. I've seen you appearing in different settings and on different platforms receiving awards. And this shows that you have taken digitalization very seriously. And the potential I see is that, for example, if somebody is sick in Ethiopia, I know some people send their people to Turkey or maybe to Singapore and so on. Why not? For example, first of all, why not make that accessible in Ethiopia? You cannot do that without digitalizing, leveraging AI. Second, which is very important, what I like about you having this systemic thinking and a visionary leader is because why not some countries, at least regional countries, sending their patients to, for example, Liana, because you are digitalizing, you are keeping a standard, and you have the latest technologies and expertise, and Ethiopia could be able to attract investment from the region so that it could be able to scale its industry. I see a lot of potential. I also like about the AI revolution that you mentioned, because Ethiopia is, in terms of technology, a latecomer. But as a latecomer, it has advantage. By leveraging AI, the healthcare industry could go to the next level. This is huge for the country, huge for the industry, and I'm sure other industries that are not digitalizing, they should learn from your industry.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. With what you have said, Dr. Asagid, yes, you know, Ethiopia is losing more than $1 billion for outbound medical service at the moment. Yes, and so this is a missed opportunity. Number two, there are many Africans who are actually passing through Addis using Ethiopian airline, going to Dubai, to India, to Turkey, or Thailand. And this is another opportunity which we have not harnessed. Given that, because I'm also working with Ministry of Health. Honestly speaking, I'm really very happy with the way the ministry is now trying to work with the private sector in the public-private engagement, in the advisory role, in policy, strategy, and research, as a member of think tank in innovation and quality, as a member of National Regulatory Committee. So in many ways, yeah, we are working very closely. So I really appreciate that. Now the landscape is quite enabling to synergize the public sector scale, okay, and equity with the private sector innovation, okay, and efficiency. So now at national level, we have medical tourism roadmap that has been endorsed by the ministry very recently, and the private sector is expected to be a major player in that. So we are strongly working on establishing high-end infrastructure, technology, and workforce, so that at least in the first phase, we will retain this outbound medical tourism. So that means saving more than 1 billion annually. And then there is huge potential again from neighboring countries. Let me tell you one thing. we have too many patients coming to Hawassa from Nairobi at this moment, mainly because although there are healthcare facilities which are actually superior and providing the best care in Kenya, but they are unaffordable, So people are coming seeking for quality care at an affordable price. So this is a low-hanging fruit where we have seen, we have a significant number. We monitor number of patients coming from neighboring countries. Now it's close to 3 to 5% of our clients are coming from neighboring countries. So this is huge potential where we have to build more, strategize on it, so that number one, you retain Forex, you generate Forex, and you contribute to the GDP and the economy of the nation. So this is one of the priority area where we are working closely. We are creating a synergy, private synergy, private public synergy. And honestly speaking, in the coming 10 years, my wish is that, at the moment, it's South Africa, Kenya, and in the Northern Africa, there are a few like Morocco. Three countries are actually taking the reasonable share of the medical tourism in Africa. So Ethiopia should come to the top 3 countries, which are actually the medical tourism destination in the years to come. And this is what we have to live for, and what we have to really take seriously and work. And we need, the support of the government and all those interested parties, so that citizens would get the right care in domestic facilities, and the neighboring nations would benefit from the medical tourism coming up in Ethiopia. So that is one of the priority area where we are working currently.
This takes me to the next topic, but I'm hopeful and I'm very optimistic like you, because Ethiopia has a potential, not just in terms of the resources, but also the human capital, the expertise. And now by leveraging AI and technology, why not bring more Forex? Why not expand the health tourism? This is going to increase the GDP. And I think you and your team, what you're doing should attract the attention of decision makers, because you pinpointed that this kind of major expansion should be supported by public, so that the public-private collaboration is the only way. If you think about this, even in developed countries like the United States, there are some sectors where the government, the public participate with the private industries by offering loans, by giving some incentives, some credits, and so on, to make sure that that industry gives that nation a competitive advantage. And I'm sure from what you told me, this is going to give Ethiopia a competitive advantage. If it gives it a competitive advantage for the country, and therefore decision makers and all other stakeholders should invest on this, not just in time, but also resources, including capital. And this could happen because of one leadership quality, which I want to talk about. When I look at leaders, there are leaders who are leading themselves, which is by itself is important. There are leaders who are leading their team, which is also very important. And there are leaders who are leading their company or their business or their organization, which is huge, because a lot of people are followers. But what we're talking about takes to become a transformative leader. To become a transformative leader, somebody has to bring change at cultural and also industry level. What you do makes you one of the transformational leaders in Ethiopia, in Africa, and beyond. This, however, doesn't come by chance, because you develop some qualities, leadership qualities. One of them is building coalition, building influence, bringing key decision makers on the table, creating this alliance to succeed. And I want to learn from you, and also, of course, my audience will be interested. So tell us, how could you be able to bring diverse stakeholders? Some of them are decision makers, to join you in this vision, support you. How do you generate this influence?
Dr. Asagid, it's not me generating this. It is a vision. You know, when you have the vision that can attract visionaries to come together and be part of it, then it is a default. It's not a design. So, as I've said earlier, if the very fact that we are determined to transform the healthcare, and anyone who really wants to make an impact will buy this idea and want to be part of it. So be it at regulators, financiers, suppliers, customers, what drives is the grand purpose. If the purpose is really noble, and then you don't have to really go very far to design how you can attract more people, more stakeholders. And we are really very much happy in mobilizing stakeholders, okay, at different layers by the grand purpose, and people see the impact we are making despite all the odds that we are going through. And therefore, the purpose is actually attracting more people into coalition. So what we are testing is, you know, we are not going somewhere and invest directly. At times, we want to empower physicians in those areas, so that, you know, they will have the chance to practice and demonstrate their skill and make the best living out of it. So we are actually implementing a very strong partnership model across Ethiopia with physicians. More than 250 physicians are working with us, not only as an employee, but also as an investor. And therefore, we are creating a platform where we can scale it. We can bring more physicians on board. And then we are creating a system that is scalable, so that, you know, we leverage our network, our brand, the system we built already, and the administrative skill that we have already built. And then, you know, combining that with the expertise of those physicians who are based at the clinical skill and knowledge, then we are making really a remarkable progress. So, you know, as I said, it's not a design, it is a grand purpose that attract more stakeholders, more partners, and more customers to work with you. And that is, I think, the secret of really coming up with this. And this actually, again, we have tested it. That's excellent. And we are actually on the scaling of those partnership models.
I agree with you 100%. One of the trainings and the coachings that I offer is helping leaders to build coalition and increase their influence. And what you're saying is very important. If I want to build partnership or coalition with a person or with an organization, the first thing I should have is a common vision, a common purpose. If people don't share that purpose, they don't join you. The second thing I should do is creating a platform where people collaborate, so that I'm not the leader, actually, I'm the facilitator. I'm bringing the right people to the table, and collectively we come up with a roadmap. As far as people are participating, they own that. What's powerful about what you do is everybody feels like this is our vision. Everybody feels this is our project, our initiative. And therefore, if a leader could be able to create that kind of feeling among other stakeholders, they could be able to leverage. Why I'm emphasizing this as a leadership expert is because one person is too insignificant. One institution by itself is too small to have impact. And what you're doing is to go beyond yourself and your company, and bringing other stakeholders, collaborating with them for a greater good. This is one of the advanced leadership qualities, and that's why I called you a transformative leader, because you have these qualities to create this collective purpose and vision, to create the platform and bring the stakeholders to own the project. Let's finish our conversation by picking your brain. I want other leaders within the healthcare industry and also outside of the healthcare industry. What should they do? For example, first of all, for them to scale, to have impact, to contribute something bigger. They could be a professional. How can they have impact more than their profession? If they could be just a business owner. Or you mentioned, for example, practitioners. Somebody could be just be a practitioner. What are some of the mentality they should develop? Some of the skill set that they should develop? What kind of systems they should put in place to scale and to go to the next level?
Great. The skills they should develop, I feel, is actually always evading the comfort zone. At times when you have all the basics, you don't want to pay more price, so you are comfortable. So always developing the skill of evading your comfort zone, challenging your comfort zone always is a skill that we have to develop. And second, as we said, expanding and looking for more opportunities depends on your mindset. If you look around, as you said, we have to be the change agent. We have the right to complain, okay, that the country has not provided the right platform, okay, the leadership has not done anything to support. If you want to remain in your comfort zone, you can have hundreds and thousands of reasons. But look around. When you see a problem and being part of the solution of that problem is actually something that should resonate with our heart and with our mind. So most of the time, before blaming, let's take the issue. Let's take the problem. What can I do in this? How can I be part of the solution to this existing problem? And if you develop this mindset, definitely you can find hundreds and thousands of problems around you, and you won't have adequate time, energy, and attention to solve all that. That yet you have to prioritize and work on those where you can make a remarkable impact with a reasonable effort. So the mindset of looking at problems not from blaming perspective, but becoming part of the solution and always evading the comfort zone and finding meaning in that engagement is actually something that I wish every human being need to have. Yeah.
Yeah, powerful. Mindset is really the foundation of any initiative, because if somebody believes that they cannot do anything about a problem or a challenge, they don't do anything. But if they say, you know what, there is a problem, maybe I don't have the support I need, maybe people are not helping me, but I can take the initiative. And like you did in the healthcare industry, you took the initiative and people joined you. And that's the key mentality for someone to scale. And of course, there are other skill sets they need to develop. For example, to cross pollinate with other, for example, in your case, you are a physician, you are a pathologist, and you are a medical person, but you could be able to connect with policymakers, politicians, decision makers. You be able to communicate with business people, investors, and so on. This requires to have this cross cultural communication, cross industry, cross pollination with others. And of course, at the end of the day, somebody has to have character. And if you want to influence others, you have to have the character, keeping your words, committing to your promises, and having the best interests of other people. Once people see that, they join you in your efforts. Dr. Girma, before we finish, do you have any last minute message or anything that you missed so far? And also, how can people find you and how can people join you, support what you do? It could be the website you want to share, or where people can find you, learn more, and support you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Asad. It's an honor actually to be invited to your podcast and get this opportunity. So going forward, I'm just more general. I would like to address it in such a way that, you know, as a human being, we are here for a purpose, and we need to search, dig, and think deeper until we find the purpose we are here for. So I wish every one of us finds a purpose. At times, unless we find it, we may not be able to get it. And coming to the healthcare landscape, I know there are many diaspora physicians, even my batch, our seniors, our juniors, who are practicing across the globe. So I know people feel it's difficult to practice here for different reasons. People may mention bureaucracy and lots of challenge, systemic challenge. But let me tell you one thing. This is our nation. We have to be an instrument of change of the current challenge of our industry. Things are changing, yet a lot has to be done. And we have to be part and a parcel of it. Unless we advocate for the change, we remain the same 100, 200 years from now, even in the future. And anyone interested to invest in Ethiopia healthcare, this is actually from business perspective, from impact perspective, this is the right time to invest. In so doing, you benefit yourself and you benefit the citizens of Ethiopia. So we are open to work with, we are already working with many physicians, okay, from within Ethiopia and abroad. And we are still open to work with more of our diaspora physicians and professionals, or even not only physicians, everyone who wants to make impact in the healthcare. I know most of our doctors have developed a unique competency by practicing in the West. Bringing that competency here will have actually an exponential impact. So let you come, explore, and we work together for the betterment of Ethiopia, for betterment of our citizens, and for the betterment of our continent. So anyone interested to reach out, I'm available on social media, on LinkedIn with Girma Ababi, just my name, on the Facebook as well. And anyone interested, I can share my email to you, Dr. Asagdid. So anyone who is connected to you through your podcast and everything, we can have time to chat, to explore further. You know, there is an immense potential, and where everybody can really have a space to make an impact. So happy to be your guest on AZ podcast, Dr. Asagid, and happy to get connected with you for so long. And I'm so grateful for your kind words throughout the conversation and even earlier on, and your support, you know, in sharing insights and the new developments in the leadership landscape. I really appreciate what you are doing, okay, training the corporates in Ethiopia and in the West, and expanding your influence. Keep up the good job. We will work together, and we'll have a remarkable impact, which we and our generation be proud of now and tomorrow. Thank you so much, Doc.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Girma. What a class. This is a master class on how to scale, how to create coalition and have impact that goes beyond yourself, beyond your company, but an impact which has a greater good at national level and beyond. And I'm very optimistic that leaders like Dr. Girma, they could be able to change the lives of a lot of people in Ethiopia, create jobs, opportunities, and also scale the healthcare industry and take it to the next level. Once again, thank you for being here, sharing your vision and sharing your wisdom with our audience. And definitely, I would love to invite you again another time, maybe with another specific topic to talk about. Until I see you then, thank you very much. I also want to thank everyone who have been watching. We have had a little bit internet connection issues because we are doing this across 2 continents, but you've been patient to be with us and we appreciate you. Until I see you with another interview, have a great day and thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.